Welcome back to PRN Test Drive. I'm James, and this is the 2024 Acura MDX Type S. Now, there is a 2025 small refresh coming to the MDX platform that gives us a little bit redesigned wheels. The grille and the front bumper are slightly changed, as well as some improvements on tech interior-wise, which we'll go over. But I still think, even in 2024, we have an excellent platform for the Type S MDX. Whenever I'm driving an Acura Type S, any model, I feel like it's Acura's best foot forward. This is the best it's gonna get, which is why in Canada we call this the MDX Type S Ultra. Literally, Ultra is the best way to describe it. You've got every single piece of technology that you could want, all the performance that you could really need out of a three-row SUV like this, and of course you got the red paint color. It just looks so good. Now, sometime last summer I was able to show you the MDX Platinum Elite, which still a really good three-row, but for some people it might have been missing the performance. And I'm going to tell you today that the Type S has kind of fixed that aspect, but it also comes with its, problems. But we're going to go over everything about the MDX Type S here in this video. Let's get started. So first up, let's take a look at what is powering this MDX Type S. We have a 3-liter direct injection turbocharged V6 engine that is giving us 355 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque. So you remember when I told you that it probably solved some of the performance? That's good numbers. We get a V6 in an MDX Type S in a 3-row SUV. That's pretty impressive. Now we also get a 10-speed automatic transmission, and we get the SH all-wheel drive, which stands for Super Handling All-Wheel Drive, and that is a very accurate description of the way I would use to describe how this vehicle actually handles. It is really nice. So I don't just want to stand here outside the vehicle. I really want to hop in and just start talking to you about how it drives, the performance, the different suspension modes, and everything else in between in case you're in the market for one of these sporty 3-row SUVs. Let's get to it. Boom. All right, finally behind the wheel of the Acura MDX Type S, and it's always a good week because this is, as much as it is a sporty SUV, it is a extremely luxurious SUV too. We've kind of really got the best of both worlds with the MDX Type S Ultra. So the Ultra means that literally it comes with everything that Acura is able to throw into this 3-row. I've pretty much got it. We've got ventilated seats, heated steering, massage. I've got a massage feature that has like different techniques that it could use, which, by the way, that's one of the things that I think they improve for 2025. It's a more robust selection. It's a more, like, I think maybe a bit more of like a more feeling massage. That's the only way I could describe it from what I've been able to read, which is interesting. So yeah, like those are just like some highlights, which I'll touch on a little bit later, but like, oh my God, like there's just nothing that's spared here. And like, it just looks really good too. Like it's one of the best looking SUVs so far that I've taken this year, and the fact that it's got the performance is even better. So I do have a couple of drive modes. I've got a lift mode, which absolutely raises the air suspension as high as you can go. This thing looks crazy. You never expect an MDX to be able to do off-road stuff, but when it's that high, you're like, you know what, maybe we can do some light trails in this thing. And then also we have the snow mode, and then we have our 2 sport modes that really lower the vehicle all the way. So I have Sport, and then I also have a Sport Plus where I have to hold the dial like you do in Acura Type S's, and then I have to press the S button on the gear selector. That really puts everything into full sport mode. So now that I am in full sport mode, let's give it some gas here. Oh yeah. So it moves, okay? The V6 definitely does not make this SUV boring at all. No, it's not like something that's gonna put you back in your seat. It's not necessarily like a screaming 3-row SUV. Not really, but it's enough performance to make it fun and interesting, and also it handles really well. Like I said, super handling all-wheel drive is the way that I like to describe these Acura vehicles. Same thing with the TLX. I love the steering wheel. Like the steering wheel, the TLX and the MDX, really, I'm pretty sure is the exact same. I can't see any difference in size, and all the controls are in the same spots. So this is cool. I didn't mind the steering wheel TLX. Definitely gonna take it in the MDX. And look, I've got my adaptive cruise control, my media settings are all on here as well. It's just really good. Now, I don't know if you heard it when I was ripping the, I don't know, like, let me do it again so you can hear it. Like, so that noise isn't actually the exhaust. That is very much pumped in audio, which is like, okay, and I don't hate it, but there's no way to control it. There's no way to turn it off, and it really only happens when you punch it. Like right now, nothing. What you're hearing is the, first of all, the really good noise isolation. I find that pretty decent, but also it's just the engine. Like you barely even hear it. It's a quiet ride until and then you hear it. That's what I said. That's very much a pumped-in audio system because, like, although out back, like when you take a look at the back shots, we have really nice like quad exhaust. Like they're big, they're nice. So like when I first rolled up to this thing, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's got nice and big exhaust. Nope, it doesn't sound good at all. It really does sound boring, which is surprising because the TLX, the Integra, like they're all pretty well tuned. Like obviously the TLX doesn't have that much of a noise, but it's still something. It's still there. Whereas the MDX just simply has nothing, which I feel like is a bit of a miss from Acura. I feel like you could have made something kind of special with this. Is maybe the time of only gas vehicles is going away. So I feel like they missed the opportunity to make a loud 3-row that has a V6. Like, let me hear the V6. Don't put a V6 in here and then just mute it. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm curious to see. Do you care that if you have a V6 engine and you can't hear it? I'm sure a slight tune would probably fix it because I'm sure the noise is there. It's somehow just muffled. So we were talking about the back of the MDX. I want to talk to you about the trunk space. Of course, it's an automatic tailgate, which is very nice. I've got plenty of room because I always keep my third row folded down. I try to fit in there. It just doesn't happen. It's more for the smaller humans, the third row. So, but it actually fits my needs quite well because I do like day events and stuff like that on the weekends with my 6-month-old, and usually me and my wife, we're new parents. We just bring everything. Everything that fits in the car, we bring it. So the more room I have in the car, the more stuff I'm able to bring and kind of test it. So it's cool. Like I'm not having to use or not having a need for the third row really gives me a lot of extra space. So even though I don't need a third row, like there's still kind of that consideration that you still get so much trunk space if you don't need it. The second row though is very good. Like I've got so much leg room. I've got my own climate control back there. There's no massage or anything like that, but there is 2 heated seats on either side, which is nice. The ambient lighting in here is really good too. Like you can see it well in the back. I love vehicles that have some type of ambient lighting in the back seat. Usually it's only the front seat. So I like that too. Plenty of room, like I said. Headroom's good. Got a panoramic sunroof. Can't complain there. Actually, my kid seems to like it. She kind of looks up out of her car seat quite a bit out of it. And it's the most she's done it in a lot of the other cars that I've driven. So this is really cool too. So since we're in the interior, let me talk about the front seat. I already mentioned you the massage seat, the ventilated, heated, stuff like that. I've got 360-degree cameras, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto as well. So really there is no problem. All my controls for my HVAC are all physical. Nothing's controlled by the infotainment, which is a good thing because you still have this annoying little trackpad. Say what you will, some people are gonna comment, I've owned this car for whatever, how many years and I love it. That's great, but you're probably in the minority. And let me tell you why. Because Acura for 2025 has moved this really nice and high quality touchscreen up a little bit and actually gotten rid of the touchpad and made it a full touchscreen. So if you're one of the people that like it, you gotta be in the minority because why would they change it? Now I also have a fully digital gauge cluster, very nice. It's the same one that I showed you on the TLX Type S where the only difference is the little car in the middle that kind of lights up with the brake lights when I put my brake lights on is the fact that it's a MDX and not a Type S. That's really the only difference, which I'm completely fine with as well. When I put it into my Sport Plus mode, which I pretty much drive around in all the time, unless my kid's in the vehicle, in that case, comfort mode is the way to go. She seems to like it. But the Sport mode gauge gives me like a PSI, a boost PSI, and a peak PSI. So when you're pushing it, you can kind of see those stats. And it also comes with like a G meter and stuff too. So hey, it's pretty cool. I don't know how many people are going to use that. I don't really use it that much, but it's pretty cool that it's there. So last thing I want to touch on is the looks for the MDX Type S. I think, like I said, Type S is the best foot forward, and the MDX is no exception. It looks so good. It looked good when I did the Platinum Elite. I really didn't mind it. I just found it like a little bit boring, and the Type S kind of fixes all that. The front end looks really aggressive. It is getting a slight refresh, but honestly, they didn't even really need to touch it. I think it's more tech upgrades that are important nowadays. But like, it looks really solid, right? Like, and the back looks good. Like I said, the side looks really good. You know, in my favorite position to look at the MDX Type S is when it's in the Sport Mode Plus, when it's all the way down. It looks really, really cool. I just can't get over how cool it looks with this red paint color and the red painted Brembo brakes. Oh, can't get enough of it. And Niall also drove this one in 2022, believe it or not. And not that much has changed. Like I kind of looked at his, looked back at mine. Like there is definitely a refresh in the front end, but like, it's not like mind-blowing. It's not like Hyundai levels of like change, right? Like, it's very subtle, and I think Acura kind of does that. You can see in 2025, they've kind of subtly changed a few things here and there, but not the whole thing, right? So I don't know. Personally, I don't mind that. I think that's cool, because so you can kind of still get a 2022 and it's not going to look that far off the 2024s. So that's pretty much going to cover everything that I wanted to go over with the MDX Type S here. Like I said, I think it's a great SUV 3-row. It is on the expensive side, there's no doubt there. I'm glad that for 2025 they are getting rid of this touchpad, because in every single Type S or Acura that I've ever driven, I've complained about the trackpad. I'm sure you're tired of hearing it. I'm tired of complaining about it. So as of 2025, when it comes to the MDX, we won't have to complain about that anymore. Also, I doubt they did it, but it would be nice if they improve the exhaust note. Or let me know in the comments if you own a 2020 or any version MDX and you were able to get some nice V6 noises out of it. I want to know. With that being said, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you never miss a video. YouTube is not going to tell you when we upload. So if we drive a car that you really want to see, you might not know about it unless you got the bell notifications on, and that way you never miss anything. We do have some merch going on here on the channel. If you want to support the channel directly, then that is a way to do that, but you never have to. We love doing this stuff on YouTube, and we will do it for absolutely no money, because we all have a passion here and we love it. So leave a like for me, and with that being said, I will see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.